Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to the X Button Gaming channel. I'm your host, Chris, and in this episode, I'm going to be going over the one-ups and pickups that I've had from most of July and August, I believe. I went a little nuts. Not on purpose. I don't know. I was just busy and I was out a lot. And because when I'm out a lot driving, I'm in the area of game stores and GameStops and thrift stores and stuff. So I stop and I check it out and see what I can find. And the last couple months, I had some pretty good luck. GameStop did their 4 for 10, 4 for 20, and then eventually 4 for 40 sales. And I found a handful of things that way. Got some deals on eBay, and also recently this last weekend, went to the Penny Arcade Expo here in Seattle and bought a couple of things there. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Some of these games I'll talk about a little bit more than others. Most games that I buy with the full intent of playing. I don't consider myself too much of a pure shelf collector, you might say. Though as a collector, I have plenty of games and I can't get to them all the time. So obviously I am a shelf collector. But my goal is buying things that I want to play. But there are a few of these that I don't particularly think I have any intention of playing. So first, we'll start off with a Game Boy Advance game, which you don't see very many of. And that's Teen Titans. So I believe this is based off of the Cartoon Network cartoon from the mid-2000s, which was right in that time frame where I was not watching as much Cartoon Network, but I was still watching Cartoon Network, I guess. Like, it was probably before or after Toonami, because I remember watching episodes here and there before or after, like Dragon Ball Z or Reboot or whatever I watched at the time. I remember liking the show just fine, but I've never had a strong affinity to DC characters. So, I never truly got into the show. But I was at a GameStop, and I had 3 games for the 4 for 10, and I saw this for less than $10, and I picked it up. I don't know anything about it, but I have an Analog Pocket, so I will give it a go. Because from what I could tell, it looks like... Actually, I don't even know. I think it was an action game, but anyway, so kind of a cool pickup. I don't buy a lot of Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color games, but if I do, I try to buy them CIB, just because I really like the artwork on the boxes, and it's nice just to have everything complete. But yeah, so that was a cool pickup. Another one I got in one of the 4 for 10 bundles was this Top Trumps NBA All-Stars. So I'm not really into sports. Basketball's fine. When we used to have the Seattle Sonics here, I would go to games on occasion with my friends, and they were fun, but I don't follow basketball, especially since we haven't had a team. I don't know anything about this game. Like I said, it was another one, I needed a 4th game for the 4 for 10, so I grabbed this. It looks like it's, I don't know, card-based? I don't know anything about it. Frankly, I don't know if I'm going to keep this. I like getting 3DS games, but I don't know if this is something I'm going to play. So, I don't know. If it's something that you've played and you like, let me know. I'd be interested to hear more about it. Okay, so some more 4 for 10 games. I got Sacred 2, Fallen Angel. I remember looking at this game back when it first came out. It was on PS3, obviously. And, I always thought it looked really cool. I liked it. Kind of had the Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance or Champions of Norath, that 2-player dungeon crawler style. I always liked those games, and they were really fun multiplayer games. And I always thought this looked fun, but I never played it. So it was it was part of the 4 for 10, so it was cheap. So I figured, why not add it to the collection? Maybe I'll give it a try at some point. Explore a massive handcrafted fantasy world offering parallel light and shadow campaigns with nearly 600 challenging quests. So, sounds pretty long. I also picked up Infamous. For anybody who's not familiar with it, it's basically you get to be a superhero type character or super villain, depending on which way you want to play the game. I have never played Infamous 1 or 2. I did play Second Son on the PS4, and I loved that game. But I never played the first 2. I've never owned them. That might not be true. At some point, I think I had it, whether I had it or my friend Alex, who I was roommates with at the time, had it. Because I know he played it on my PlayStation, but I don't know, I'm rambling. Nobody cares about that. This was not part of the 4 for 10, but it was another GameStop pickup. This is a game I've wanted to play for a while, and that's Driver San Francisco. Engage in a relentless manhunt to bring justice to the city. I was a big fan of Driver 1 and 2 on the PS1. Driver 1 obviously had that terribly hard tutorial that a lot of people could never even beat. I beat it as a kid. I haven't played it as an adult, but I probably would fail at it now. But I liked the mission structure of that game. And then in 2, this was pre-Grand Theft Auto days, like pre-Grand Theft Auto 3. In Driver 2, you could get out of your car and like steal other people's cars and walk around and stuff. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I guess maybe not the being a criminal part, or maybe it did, I don't know. But just the fact that you could like explore the city, and it was a big area that you could explore. And I liked those games, but I've never played a Driver since. But I've heard San Francisco was okay, so I figured, and like I said, I've wanted to play it for a while, so I found it at a GameStop. It was less than $20, and I think it goes on average for more than that, so it felt like a good grab. Another game I grabbed, this was another 4 for $10 game, Dragon's Crown on the PS3. 4-player hack and slash, or 1 to 4 player hack and slash style game by Vanillaware, the same team who's now pretty well known for 13 Sentinels and most recently Unicorn Overlord, published by Atlas. So I've played this game before, and it is fun. I've never like fully committed to a playthrough, but I enjoyed what I've played. Interestingly, I got this for the 4 for $10, and I'm going to skip ahead here. Then I went to a GameStop, I don't know, maybe a week or two later, and then I found this, Dragon Crown Pro for the PS4. So this has some updated PS4, I don't know. Frankly, I don't even know what it has. More content, better graphics maybe. But I'm a sucker for a steelbook, and these are not my favorite style of steelbooks. These, I don't know what they call them, but with the embossed, like, where it sticks out on the side. But still, it's a pretty cool looking steelbook, and I like on the back it has this dragon dude. If people know anything about this game, they're probably like, yeah, that's a dragon dude, you dummy. But yeah, so I'm probably not going to keep the PS3 version. I don't see a point in having it twice. Just keep the PS4 version for the steelbook, but I thought that was kind of cool. Okay, so next I picked up a couple of the Wii U games. For anybody who doesn't know, I am extremely passively working on a complete Wii U set. I went very hard for a complete Wii U set in around 2019, 2020, when I was getting games dirt cheap. I got like 75 games, some of the heavy hitters for really, really cheap. But I never got the 3 biggest bangers out of the way. And I've just kind of fallen off of like going hard for it because I love the Wii U. I have nostalgia for the Wii U already. I think the Wii U did a lot great, but so many of these games can be played elsewhere. It's hard for me to spend more than like a small amount on the games that I don't have yet. So I don't know. I'll probably eventually finish the set just to have it. But yeah, it's a very slow endeavor, and it's just when I find them at a good price. Speaking of, at a good price, this was another part of one of the 4 for $10s I picked up, was Snoopy's Grand Adventure for the Wii U. So I will say this. I assumed it was just kind of a shovelware game, but it looks kind of like a action platformer type game. And frankly, it looks kind of fun. I'll probably give it a try. I mean, the Peanuts, everybody grew up on the Peanuts, basically. And I love a good platformer. I mean, platformers are up there with my favorite type of genre. So, it even has a 2-player mode. I don't know what that means, but that's funny. It says it on the back, Woodstock helps Snoopy in 2-player mode, but then it says in the controller options, it just has the 1-player icon. So, I don't know. But yeah, I'll probably give that a try at some point. And then this one was one that I've actually wanted to pick up on the Wii U just because I'm a real big fan of this world now. And it's the SteamWorld Collection, which has SteamWorld Heist and SteamWorld Dig on it. I have SteamWorld, I have both of them in other forms. I have SteamWorld Heist digitally on PS4, and I think Dig digitally as well. So I don't own them physically yet, but SteamWorld Dig is one of my absolute favorite games. I love it. I find it to be a very comforting game to play through. I like the Metroidvania style games, and it's just like, it's very simple. And even though the second one is probably better in just about every way, something about the first one just really hits home for me. So having this on the Wii U, it's complete. I should have said this too. I'm pretty sure all of these were complete because I usually won't buy it if it's not, unless it's just that good of a deal. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, SteamWorld Collection on Wii U, and I believe these two games put me at like 110 games on the Wii U. So, which the set's only 162, I think, 157, something like that. It's not very high, so I'm pretty close. And in the grand scheme of things, I'm pretty close. 2/3 of the way there. I guess it's not that, whatever. Okay, and this was a random one. A PS2 game called Technic Beat, published by Mastiff. I found this at a local thrift store chain called Value Village. I think in other states and or even in Canada, it's called Savers. But yeah, it's called Technic Beat. I'd never heard of this game before, but it was, I think I left the sticker on there. It was $4, and it looks like it's some kind of a music rhythm party game. But it says it includes over 30 classic Namco games or game tunes from Pac-Mania, which is kind of interesting, not Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man, but Pac-Mania, Dig Dug, and Galaxian 3, plus more. So, I don't know, for $4 at a thrift store, I just figured, why not give it a shot? I literally have never even heard of this game before, which there's probably a lot of those on PS2, but it feels less common to find games that I've never heard of, in the wild at least these days. It was, I don't know if, so it was published by Mastiff, and it was probably developed by Eureka. Try to show it there. I am not super familiar with that team, but I know they made the I think they made the Africa game on PS3, which is very expensive and I think pretty rare. But okay, so two last 4 for $10 games here. I got Hot Shots Racing. This is a PS4 racing game. I had never seen this game before, but it has kind of a cool, I don't know how to explain it. I mean, it kind of reminds me of like the old Sega Saturn type racing games, and I really like the look of it. I'm not a huge racing game fan, but for less than $10, I figured, wow, that was a good view. Let's show you my hand for forever. Yeah, for less than $10, I figured, why not give it a go? And then lastly, I got Namco Museum Remix for the Wii. It's the only Wii game I picked up. So it's got 9 classic arcades on it. It also has Galaxian, Dig Dug, Mappy, Pac and Pal, Cutie Q. Okay, I don't even know what that one is. Super Pac-Man, Xevious, Pac-Mania, and then it looks like some other random games too, some newer games. I don't know. It just looked kind of cool, and for, you know, what comes up to being like $250, I figured, why not give it a try. All right, so a couple more GameStop pickups. Actually, I really went to GameStop a lot in the last couple months. Naruto Rise of the Ninja for the Xbox 360. I've never played this game before. I do like Naruto. I haven't finished Shippuden, but I finished the original series. And this is based off of the original series. And it's an open world action RPG with like fighting, like a fighting style battle system, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this was one of the 360 games I've wanted to play, or wanted to get to play eventually at least, was this and the other 360 one, which I don't remember what it's called, Broken Bonds. But yeah, they look like fun games, and I enjoy Naruto, so why not? Okay, and this was an eBay pickup. So I don't even own an Xbox One, but I picked up Dragon Ball FighterZ Day 1 edition for the Xbox One. This is twofold reason why I picked it up. One is I am going for eventually every Dragon Ball game on every console, including variants. It's a big endeavor, and I'm doing it extremely slowly, but I love Dragon Ball, and it's just a fun like side hobby, I guess. So for the Day 1 edition, I figured, why not? This listing was at 15. I want to say it was 15 or $20 right in there. But the main reason I did it, because that game is super cheap, but I didn't have the Dragon Ball FighterZ Steelbook. And this is something I'd been looking for a long time, because I love a good Steelbook, and I love Dragon Ball, and this Steelbook is absolutely beautiful in my opinion. I have a wall, actually you can see right there, where I have some magnets that I have some steelbooks displayed on, and I have this one up there. I took it down for this video. But I was super happy to get that at what felt like a really good price. I've pieced together a lot of the collector's edition for super cheap. Only thing I'm missing now is the statue, which is probably going to be the most expensive part to get, and the box. But yeah, I have most of that collector's edition now. But yeah, I love that steelbook. Okay, so now on to some PS Vita games. I have been going hard on the Vita lately. I love the Vita. I've loved it for a long time now, but in the last few months, probably last year actually, I've really gotten back into like playing it a lot. I finished a handful of games in the last few months on it, and it's become my favorite system to like bring around with me and play on the go, play at home even. I love it. So I grabbed couple of games that I'd wanted to get for a while, and then I got a really cheap lot of games too, off Mercari. So anyway, so I got Final Fantasy X and X-2. I've played 10. I played both of these games multiple times over the years, but I figured if I was going to replay it again, this would probably be the version I'll replay. It does not have the DLC code, but even if it did, it would have been used or expired by this point. I got Disgaea 4, Promise Revisited. Found this at a GameStop. I have a rule of thumb that might be stupid, but if I see a CIB Vita game, or at least a game with the case, at GameStop at a remotely decent going rate price, I just buy it, because you don't see them that often. So yeah, so I got that. I've never played a Disgaea game. I know I'm familiar with the series, but yeah, looking forward to giving it a go. I got Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 Plus. Not super familiar with the Sigma or Ninja Gaiden games. I know they're supposed to be extremely hard. I know the platinum in this game is basically unattainable, but I don't know. I'll play it eventually. This was a couple of these are limited run games. They were part of that lot of games that I got. Mutant Mudds Super Challenge. So I already had the base Mutant Mudds game, and this is apparently just, I don't know, like extra challenges or whatever, but I really like Mutant Mudds. So when I saw that this was different, I figured this was a good one to have in the collection. The Swindle, I know next to nothing about this. It's looks like a platformer type of game where you have to use stealth and stuff around you to do something. Okay, yeah, good explanation. Then I got the Bit Trip Limited Edition. These three were all limited run games. And this one, the Bit Trip games are fun. They're kind of like platformer runner games. So yeah, I haven't played much of them, but I was like, that's a cool game to add to the collection. Sorcery Saga Curse of the Great Curry God, one of the many anime games on the Vita. There are plenty of them. I'd never even heard of this before, but as part of this lot, I figured, why not? I'll probably play it at some point. I like RPGs, and it looks like it's it's a dungeon crawler. So learning about things that I've bought while I'm recording. Then lastly, for my Vita pickups for the month, I got One Piece Ultimate World Red Day 1 Edition. So I won't be playing this for a while because I'm currently actually watching One Piece, and I'm only about 150 episodes in, and I believe this takes place way after that, like in the 700s or something. But I'm really enjoying it now that I've actually gotten into it, so I'm going to probably add more One Piece games to the collection as time goes on. Alright, so we're coming up on the end. Only a handful more games here to show. So I got, this was an eBay pickup. Actually, let's save that one. This was another GameStop pickup, the last one. I got this yesterday, actually, and it is Bubsy Paws of Fire for the PS4. And this is the limited edition. It comes with the soundtrack and even a manual that has some information on the different characters and like the controller layout, like an old school manual. Like, how can you go wrong with this? Other than it's Bubsy, and Bubsy is notoriously supposed to be one of the worst platformers of all time. I've never played a Bubsy game ever, and for $10, I was like, you know what? I didn't even know this existed, so I'm gonna buy it. And from what it says here, it's an auto-running action game, so we'll see. We'll see if it's any good. But I figured $10, and it had the soundtrack and everything. I was like, that's kind of cool. I'm gonna give it a go. So when I eventually play it, I'll report back to if it was any good. I know Bubsy used to be voiced by Rob Paulsen, who voiced probably most famously like Yakko Warner on Animaniacs and Carl on Jimmy Neutron. So that alone, he's one of my favorite voice actors. So if he still does Bubsy, that'd be cool. But I don't know if that's accurate or not. Okay, then Best Buy was doing flash sales a couple weeks back where every day they'd have a different game for $10. And one of them was Fitness Boxing Fist of the North Star. A Switch game at $10, I basically don't usually pass up on that often because you don't see that often. But this game is just super obscure, and I don't know. Like, I should probably play it because I could use to lose a few pounds, a few dozen pounds. But I've never even watched Fist of the North Star. So this was an impulse buy, $10. I couldn't go. I figured I can't go wrong. But yeah, still haven't even opened it. But if you haven't yet, my friend Christian at the Bird Dog Gaming channel just recently did a Switch potentially rare and obscure games, and mentioned this on there. So it's definitely one worth looking out for if you do Switch collecting at all, because even though it was on sale for $10, which felt really random, I imagine this is going to be an obscure game for probably forever, and it probably won't get many, if any, reprints. Okay, so then this one was a really cool pickup. I grabbed this on eBay, and it's Blast Corps for the N64. It is not complete in box. It has everything except for the manual for some reason, so I will be looking out for the manual, but it's in pretty darn good shape. There's a couple creases and stuff on it, but no real bends or dings or anything of note. But yeah, it's pretty good shape. So long story somewhat short, I was scrolling eBay like I sometimes do, looking at the generic video game search on eBay, looking at what's recently listed, and somebody listed Earthworm Jim 3D complete in box for like $60 with an $85 buy it now. And that game goes for like $200-300, something like that, CIB. So I was like, man, that's crazy. Like, this has to be fake. The guy had feedback, but not an absolute ton. But I was like, this absolutely has to be fake. So I did a bunch of research as much as I could in like 20 minutes and tried to figure out if it was fake. And I was like, everything says this is real. So I was like, I'll buy it and take a chance. And just as I went back to buy it, somebody bid on it, which I don't know why they didn't just buy it now. So then, yeah, I couldn't do the buy it now. But then I clicked on the guy's profile to see what else he had. And he was listing like an N64 collection of CIB stuff for like way under value. So this isn't one of the more expensive 64 games. But I mean, it goes for like $60-70 complete. But he listed it for 20. Like, it was either 20 or 25. And I was like, I would rent this game when I was a kid, and I loved this game. So I was like, I don't have it. So for $20-25 somewhere in there, I'm like, I'm buying it. And I did. So as you can see, I have it here now. So yeah, that was just crazy. It just goes to show sometimes scrolling eBay at the most random times can make you spend money that you didn't intend to spend. All right, and then my last 3 pickups. These were all from the Penny Arcade Expo this weekend. So I went to the limited run booth and grabbed a couple of games that I'd had kind of been wanting. I've been on the fence about for a while. Well, this one I was really on the fence about, but once I saw it in person, I was like, I need to get it. Need is a strong word. And that's Arzette, the Jewel of Faramore. So if you aren't familiar with this game, it's a animated game that was done in the style of the Zelda Philips CDI games from the early 90s that are notoriously bad. But somebody, the team that made this, wanted to make a game in that same style, same gameplay, same animation style, and try to make a good game. And from what I've heard, this game is actually really good. And I missed the pre-order window for it, or probably didn't miss it. I probably just didn't pre-order it. And when I saw it there, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get it. And I buy most games, if they're on PlayStation, I either buy the PS4 or the PS5 copy because I'm a trophy whore. And if I'm going to play it, I prefer to get my trophies. And this was one that I've needed to pick up for a while, and they had it in stock. So I figured, why not? And that is the first Shantae on PS5. And with this one, I now have the complete Shantae series on PS5. And I had bought a couple of them. I think I bought all but this one, Unlimited Run. I even pre-ordered the box that you can put it in, which I'll probably post at some point. So yeah, I was like, I need to just finally pull the trigger on this. So I did, and to make things cooler, the creators of Shantae were there signing things. If you could bring anything you want, or if you bought something, you could have them sign it. So I was like, awesome. Like, I'll get in line and have them sign this. This was perfect. But the line was capped, and it was going extremely slow. They let me get in line even though it was capped, but it was going extremely slow, and like PAX closed in like 35 minutes. So I was like, I'm not going to get it signed. So I just got out of line. But that would have been cool. I was bummed that I missed out on it. But, you know, I didn't even know about it until I bought this. So can't be that upset. Then my last pickup, this was also from PAX, but my friend James, Jimmy, who's frequently on the podcast with me, I had him grab this for me at PAX on Friday because I wasn't going to be there. And this was their Limited Run Games convention exclusive cover variant. And I was just I loved this cover a lot, so I figured I wanted to grab it. And the game is Contra Operation Galuga for the Switch. And like I said, it's their PAX exclusive cover variant, which doesn't mean too much because they almost always end up having some of these extra that they do like a blowout sale or something later on where you can still get them. But in the off chance they didn't, I wanted to just grab it then. So like I said, I had my friend James pick it up for me. I'm glad he did. I put a case on it, though I'm going to open it because I will play it. But yeah, I just really liked the cover art on this. I thought it was really cool. So figured why not grab it, add to the collection, give it a play at some time. So yeah, that's it. It was a pretty busy couple of months. I'd say the next month will probably be pretty full too. I'm going to Portland Retro Game Expo in Portland, Oregon. Here at the end of September, which is, we're looking at like 3 weeks away. So I'm looking to grab some stuff there, probably add some more Vita games and some of the more obscure stuff that I'm looking for. So that'll be fun. And I always look for games when I'm out in the wild too, so probably have another video in October to highlight some of the pickups from this month. Yeah, that's kind of my goal though. I want to do a pickups video every month or two, and occasionally have a guest on, like my friend James or Jaden, who both were on the last pickups video we did, or others too. If somebody else has some pickups and they want to join a video, like I'd love to have guests on just to talk about their pickups and share them with an audience too. So any games here that you're a particular fan of, anything that I mentioned that I haven't played before that you feel like I really should play, anything that you've wanted to add to your collection, let me know in the comments. Love to hear it. Love to chat with everybody about some of their favorite games, some of their recent pickups. If you have anything you want to share that in the comments as well. And then just finally too, if you haven't done so already, make sure to check out the podcast. This channel, the YouTube channel, is new, but we've been doing a podcast for almost 3 years now. So we have quite a few episodes. It's all gaming related, playing and collecting related, and we have topics ranging all over the place. The last episode was on the Animal Crossing franchise, and we'll be doing an episode that may be out already by the time I post this on some of the rare and expensive games on the Wii. So yeah, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. And like I said, please do comment if you have anything you'd like to add, anything you want to talk about. I'd just love to talk to you guys about it. So once again, thank you for tuning in, and remember to always press X to continue.